Donald Trump is panicking as Iran has announced that it just signed a $25 billion nuclear deal with Putin. Putin and Iran forging this nuclear alliance after Donald Trump demanded that Iran return all of its nuclear material, including nuclear dust. We're hearing now what Putin just had to say following this announcement. He says, quote, "Iran is a friendly state for us. I believe that the Iranian leadership and the people of Iran trust us. They fully trust us. And by the way, in the future, this uranium could be used once we reduce the enrichment level. This uranium could be used for peaceful purposes, for nuclear power and our nuclear projects in Iran under IAEA control." Notice the key word could, Russia asserting itself as the main mediator, arbiter, and protector of Iran right here. And this would seem to be giving a gigantic middle finger to Donald Trump and saying, we're not scared of you at all, while you claim to be negotiating nuclear material with Iran. We're going to do a $25 billion nuclear deal with Iran, is what Putin's saying. So how does Donald Trump respond? Well, this is breaking news moments ago. The Pentagon is expected to cancel plans to provide Tomahawk missiles to Germany, citing concerns that Russia could view the deployment as an escalation. In other words, Donald Trump is afraid to give Tomahawks to Germany for defensive purposes because that would anger Putin. But Putin has no problem giving $25 billion in this deal to Iran for the generation of more nuclear material in Iran. Putin also said the following about Iran moments ago. "The people of Iran have shown cohesion and their will to fight. This is a factor that undoubtedly should be taken into account as we find a solution to that crisis," because he says, we understand that Donald Trump and his administration, well, they are distracted right now. They are forced to tackle this issue now. And he said, Donald Trump didn't expect the Ukraine problem to be so hard, referring to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And Putin goes, some things don't seem too complicated, but as soon as you delve deep into the problem, it turns out there are many unknowns. Then Donald Trump sent his envoys, specifically the people who are helping him with his ballroom, to Russia to attend a Russian economic conference where Russian envoy Kirill Dmitriev announced that Russia and the U.S. are working towards a massive economic cooperation deal to build a tunnel between Russia and Alaska in the Bering Strait. And the guy working on Trump's ballroom was showing off the ballroom at the St. Petersburg Economic Conference in Russia. Now, moments ago, we got an alert from the U.S. State Department. Security alert for all Middle East countries, warning of a potential for hostilities to resume, instructing U.S. citizens locate to the nearest shelter immediately, after the U.S. has given Iran a new end-of-week deadline, a new deadline from Donald Trump. Either take our deal or we're going to attack you. Well, Iran and Russia just announced a $25 billion nuclear deal while you're begging to do deals with Putin while screwing over our NATO allies. We know now that multiple U.S. Air Force assets are currently airborne in the region, with 6 C-17 Globemaster aircrafts leaving the Middle East towards Europe. The IRGC says its forces have been placed on full combat alert, with units now instructed to stand ready for immediate execution of the orders. Now, how is Donald Trump reacting to Putin doing this deal with Iran? Well, here's what Donald Trump said about Mojtaba Khomeini. He says he's a good guy. He's got a good reputation in some circles, actually. People think the Ayatollah is a good guy. Here, play this clip.
Person. But with that being said, he's probably I don't know. He's probably a professional. In some circles, he has a very good reputation, actually. Sometimes some people say bad, but a lot of people say bad about me. It's totally false, of course.
Then Donald Trump says, I don't want to meet with him, but if I did, it would be an honor for me to meet with him. I'd be very respectful to the Ayatollah. Here, play this clip.
Know what we had to do.
And we've heard that you want to meet with the new Ayatollah, the new supreme leader.
I don't want to meet, but if I did meet, I'd be honored to meet him. I'd like to see if we make a deal. Okay. But if we make a deal, it's possible that I would meet him. I'd be okay with
Would
it.
that happen here in the U.S., White House?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really heard too much about it. It's not, I didn't suggest it, but some people have suggested it. If it happened, it would be happen. I'd be respectful.
Well, Donald, what about the fact that Operation Epic Fury killed Mojtaba's father, wife, and child? Let's play this clip.
I'd be respectful.
Do you think because Epic Fury killed his dad and his wife and his kid that he's got hard feelings and wouldn't want to meet?
Well, I would say I'm not his favorite person. But with that being said, he's probably I don't know. He's probably a professional. In some circles, he has a very good reputation, actually. Sometimes some people say bad, but a lot of people say bad about me.
But it seems that Donald Trump is more interested in attacking Biden and Obama than criticizing the Ayatollah after Iran entered into this deal with Vladimir Putin. Here's what Donald Trump said about that. Let's play this clip.
A military operation, you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, and everybody agrees to that, no matter, almost everybody. But wait a minute. Our gasoline prices are lower than they were with Biden without that. And he would have let them have, in fact, he inspired them to have, frankly, a nuclear weapon, him and Obama. Obama picked the wrong country, you know that. And the Obama deal, I terminated that, or they would have had a nuclear weapon. That was a...
Now, Donald Trump also spent a lot of time at this bizarre press conference that I just showed you, which took place moments ago, looking deeply unwell. It appeared that he was sleeping for most of it. Let me just show you what he was doing. Let's play this clip right here.
Of warmth, of a job, an economy, a community, a family. And for too long, you saw Democrats who were telling these coal miners that they should just learn the code. And what we saw during the Biden administration at the EPA, for example, was regulation after regulation after regulation, trying to strangulate out of existence.
Yeah, it looked like he was having REM sleep there. Then he just started like mumbling words. Play this clip.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, Secretary Burgum. Thank you, Lee Zeldin.
He didn't know his energy secretary, Chris Wright, was right behind him. Play this clip right here.
Better man than me for that one. Not in all ways you feel that, but in one way. In energy you do. And that was Chris, right? Yeah. Where's Chris?
Right here. Right behind you.
Well, he's a hard one to find. And Chris has done it.
He then rambles on about how you're not allowed to fix your cars anymore and that people are banned from fixing their cars. I have no clue what he means here. Let's play it.
And the job he's done is great. We had the auto industry in yesterday. They don't want people to fix their car. I said, that's strange. I've never heard of that. They have a thing nobody's allowed to fix their car. They gave a man 7 years in jail, actually, because he fixed his own car. So I thought we'd do something about that. But we'll get it all straightened away. Can you believe it? They want a bill that prohibits people from fixing. So if you're mechanically inclined, I went to school with some guys that were, in some cases, horrible students.
He then praises how handsome Giants quarterback Jackson Dart is. Let's play it.
We had the quarterback. Jackson is the quarterback for the Giants. He's a big, strong guy. And I said, how do you think you do in women's sports, Jackson? He said, pretty good, sir. He didn't know I was joking. He was not worried, so let me put it that way. He would have been the greatest athlete in the history of women's sports. You got to see the size of this guy. Like a male model, and he's going to be a great quarterback.
He talks about how he wants to do a new promenade at the Lincoln Memorial. I'll share this with you. Let's play it.
We're doing something that just came up. We'll have a little breaking news here because nobody's heard of it. But at the Lincoln Memorial, the front was supposed to be the back was supposed to be the front. It never got built because they built two roadways behind it after it was built, and it shut off the gateway to the water. That was really going to be the main entry, and we're going to be doing that. It's called the Promenade. It'll be the Promenade. They want to call it the Trump Promenade, but I don't know if I want to do that. But it's going to be beautiful. It's a beautiful project, and it's going to take the Lincoln Memorial right down to the Potomac.
Here he is talking about his $250 bill that he wants to put his face on a $250 bill. Like, again, what are you even talking about? Let's play this clip.
There's been a lot of talk lately about the Treasury putting your face on a $250 bill. Have you seen a mock-up of the Trump $250 bill? And if that winds up being currency, would you ever be able to tip anyone anything but that?
Well, I think I'd probably leave it for everybody. I have actually seen something just about 2 days ago. I know it's been pushed by a lot of our supporters, and I'm honored that they're doing it, but we'll see how that all works out. But I have heard about it, and there is a group of people, they really like the job we're doing, so that's a great honor. Yeah, please.
He talks about we need a triumphal arch because we need people to bow to our military victories. Let's play it right over here.
And I'd like to know how you're doing on that, and how are you doing on the great triumphal arch. So every city, just about every major city, has a triumphal arch. This is an arch that's a real bow, a beautiful bow to your military and military victories. Nobody's had more military victories, including recently, than we have. And they never got the arch built. It's been, the Civil War stopped it. That circle has been sitting there for a long time, for many, many years.
And then he talks about solving 8 wars. And even though Bill Pulte, who runs Fannie and Freddie in the National Finance Agency, doesn't know anything about national security, Trump's like, I don't know anything about national security, and look how quickly I learned. Here, I'll show you this. Let's play it.
It's not a permanent. He's not going to be permanent because, I don't think he'd want to be permanent. But he's a very smart guy, and he may find out some things about the rigged elections, et cetera, et cetera. I think he'd like to do it. I think he wants to do it very much. He's got a lot of energy. But he'll be very good. Again, it's not a permanent position. Right. We're interviewing people right now, but it's somebody just to take it over for a little while.
Does he have the necessary, in your view, Mr. President, the necessary national security experience to take on that position?
Well, I do, and I think he does, actually, because he's smart. Because a lot of national security, I wasn't greatly experienced in national security, and I think I've done a really great job with it. A lot of people would say that. I've ended 8 wars, and soon to be a 9th. I hope that works out too,
And then he attacks Hillary Clinton. Let's play it.
In Wyoming and Pennsylvania, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, North Dakota, and New Mexico. And they're all going back to work. It's interesting with the mines, that famous scene of Hillary when we went to West Virginia. Yeah. And she had just left another state, and she was trying to convince everybody that they should go into technology, no longer be miners. And these guys in West Virginia, they didn't want to hear about it. They wanted to remember that scene around the table, and they talked to this beautiful, big, strong miner, and they wanted him to make computer chips. She said, "We'll teach him how to make computer chips." His hands were so large he couldn't hold a computer chip. He's looking at it. He had fingers that were like 3 inches around, and they're talking about making a computer chip. And he didn't like it, and he ended up being one of our best ads ever. And she did rather poorly. I think she lost by 77 points or something like that. Pretty tough to go knock coal, and then you go 2 weeks later to West Virginia to try and win the state. It didn't work out well for her.
Well, we'll keep you posted every step of the way right there. But you see what Putin did. That's Trump's response. We'll keep you posted as we learn more. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching, everybody. Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.